Hey everybody, so I wanted to come on here and do a quick video. I wanted to talk to you guys about my birth plan and kind of what I have envisioned for the big day. It's nothing crazy, and it is flexible in some areas, and of course I know it's silly to think that your plan is going to actually come true. Births are going to go the way that they're going to go, but these are just some things that I just like to have down on paper, and I like to inform my husband of, which obviously we've talked about in detail, and then my family, and then my nurse and everything when we do get to the hospital. But yeah, it's hopefully going to be pretty quick. I'm going to try and keep this under 5 minutes or so, because it's all pretty simple, pretty basic stuff. Nothing too over the top, I don't think. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and start listing some stuff off for you. I haven't printed it out yet. I just have it typed up on my computer, so I'm going to be reading it right off the computer screen. So here we go. Let's see. Before labor actually begins, I kind of broke everything down into categories. This is category 1. I like to go into labor on my own if Tara and I are both healthy enough. I don't want to be induced. I don't want, any pressure to feel like I need to be induced if everything is going, the way it needs to go. And if I reach 40 weeks without any signs of labor, I would like to do a membrane sweep just to see if that does anything. To me, that's not really inducing labor. Inducing labor would be, Pitocin and all that good stuff. When I do go into labor, I would like to labor at home as long as possible, and as long as it is safe for me and the baby to do so. But if for some reason induction does become necessary, I would like to try natural remedies and things first. Like, breast stimulation, walking, castor oil I've heard works, and then of course having sex. And if none of those things work, then I would be open, if for some reason I'm like 2 weeks overdue or something crazy like that, then, I would consider a medical induction, and then I'd be fine with like a cervix softener and Pitocin and all that stuff. This is a little TMI, but I would like to ask if it's possible. I don't even know if it is, but I would like an enema upon arrival at the hospital. I figure the more I can clean out prior to pushing, the less that can come out then. So yeah, I'm totally all for that. Let's see, gotta scroll down here. As far as the environment goes, for labor, I want my husband with me at all times. I'm totally fine with having family and friends come in and visit me prior to the second stage of labor, which would be the pushing stage. And depending on how I feel during the second stage of labor, I may or may not want my parents and Tim's parents and possibly siblings to attend the birth. But we'll, kind of see how it goes, and they're completely aware of, how I feel about that. And then I would like a quiet room for, the most part. A little bit of talking is fine. I would like to have the lights dimmed. I'm going to be bringing some candles, the electric kind, the little flickering ones, just for to give it a meditative environment and a real soft kind of calming environment or feeling. And then I'm also going to be bringing some soft meditative music to have playing. And this is all, of course, if, we have time for all of this stuff. If for some reason, I go into labor really quickly and, none of this stuff has to happen, it's kind of just like a formality, some things I would like to have. I would like photos and videos taken of labor and of the birth. And when it comes to the actual birth, I don't want, obviously I don't want to have any full-on vagina crotch shots. I would just like to have, photos and video of her being born and coming out and being placed on my chest and, all of those things. But, obviously if some gets snuck in there or something like that, we can always edit it out, or, something later, or just, keep it for something just ourselves. I wouldn't share it with random strangers or anything like that. And then as far as birthing equipment goes, I'm not quite sure what my hospital has. I was silly and I didn't ask at our hospital tour, but I would like the option of being able to use a birthing ball, you know, sitting in the shower, a birthing stool, or squatting bar if I need it. As far as pain relief goes, I'm going to try and do this as naturally and drug-free as possible. So I have on here that only offer pain medication if I ask for it, but I will pre-sign my epidural form when I arrive at the hospital when I'm filling out all of my other paperwork, so that if for some reason I do need an epidural, I don't have to stop and sign any sort of waivers or anything like that. Yeah, I already went over that. I want to labor as naturally as possible for as long as possible. And I have on here, I'm prepared to handle the pain with some of these techniques. You know, breathing, meditation. I'm going to have make sure I have a visual focal point to take my mind off of, you know, the pain. See if my husband can get me to laugh, like some jokes or something like that, if I'm in the mood. We'll see. And then also sitting in the shower for relaxation, as many times as I need to. Have the, you know, warm water run on my stomach and lower back and everything. And then if for some reason I have to stay in bed, which I'm hoping I won't have to, I'll get to that in a minute. I want to be able to use a heating pad or a TINS unit, it's called. It like sticks to your back or wherever you're using it. Little sticky pads, and it helps send electricity to your nerves and helps out keep everything, your muscles relaxed and all of that. So I would like the option of using that. My husband has one, so I'm just going to take his. And then if for some reason I choose to use drugs, I'd like to use the IV drugs first. And, you know, if that's not working, then I'll try what they call a walking epidural, which is, I'm assuming, a very mild epidural. And then if for some reason that's not working, I'll do the full third epidural if absolutely necessary. I would like to be as mobile as possible during labor, and that's why I chose those pain, you know, relief in that order. And I would like my hospital door to remain closed at all times, just, you know, for privacy and all that. As far as monitoring me and the baby goes, I would like to be intermittently monitored if, you know, we're both doing well, because I want to be able to move around and lay on either side or get up and walk around as much as needed without having to constantly buzz the nurse to have her unstrap me and then restrap me back in, because that would just be a pain in the butt. And then now the second stage of labor, the pushing and delivery portion. If we're both healthy, I'd like to push as long as I need to, without, you know, feeling like, you know, I have a time limit, and if I don't get her out in a certain time, you know, they're going to start pushing a C-section on me. I would like to use all the birthing positions that are comfortable for me at that time. You know, whatever I need to do to be comfortable and to get her out, I'm totally all for. And I would like to push when I feel like I need to push, unless I have a full epidural and I can't tell when I need to push, and then you can, you know, then I'm fine with everybody telling me when I need to, or when I'm having a contraction or whatnot. I would prefer not to have an episiotomy, obviously. I don't want to have one. Nobody ever wants to have one of those, but if it's medically necessary and I need one, then I would go for the pressure episiotomy, which is, you know, more during the crowning stage. And that way they can tell if it's absolutely necessary or not. And then I would like to use some techniques during the actual labor portion to avoid an episiotomy. I'm going to try and see if the nurses or doctors will let me use hot compresses or oils and do a little perineal massage if needed. And then also have them remind me to slow down during the crowning stage to, you know, make sure everything kind of happens on its own. Once baby is getting ready to come out, when she's right there, I would like my husband to catch her and place her on my chest. If that's not possible, I would like to pull her up myself. And then after baby's born, I would like to have the skin-to-skin contact right away. So I want to make sure that, you know, if I forget, have them, you know, pull my shirt down or hospital gown or whatever I'm wearing at the time, pull that down so that they can lay the baby directly onto my chest. And then I would like to do the bond and breastfeeding as soon as possible after the necessary things are done, which necessary to me before, you know, the bonding would be, you know, a light cleaning off, not a full bath. The APGAR test, which I forget what exactly it means. I think it's appearance something. I don't even know. Activity and I don't know. Whatever. Basically all the stuff that a newborn needs to make sure they're healthy. And then obviously weight and everything, because I don't want to breastfeed before she's weighed, because I want to get her true weight and length and all that. And then I want to wait to cut and clamp and cut the cord. That should be in that order, until it stops pulsing. And then I obviously want my husband to cut the cord. And then I would prefer to do the birth of the placenta as naturally as possible. You know, I don't want to have the Pitocin shots in my thighs or anything unless for some reason it's not coming out and I'm risking hemorrhaging or anything like that. And then if I would require a C-section, I have some things that I jotted down just in case. I want my husband with me at all times. I want to remain awake. I don't want them to put me under unless it's absolutely life or death. I want to be able to film the whole surgery and the birth and, you know, her coming out and all of those things. I want to have contact with my baby as soon as possible. So if that means I have to sign waiver forms to have her in recovery with me, or whatever I have to do, I want to do. And then during recovery, if baby is healthy enough, obviously, I want her with me, and and if that can't happen, then I want my husband in the nursery with her at all times. Nobody is, we've already discussed that, during the whole hospital stay, neither of us are going to leave her side, and no matter where she goes, somebody is always going to be with her. And then I want to get up and moving as soon as I possibly can after, the epidural wears off or the spinal wears off, because that helps speed up the recovery process. I don't want to be in bed for too long. And then some of the newborn procedures I have, I would like to, obviously delay the newborn procedures other than the necessary things that I talked about earlier until after we have a chance to, spend some time together and do some breastfeeding and all of those things, which I want to do that for at least a good hour to 2 hours. If she's healthy enough, obviously. Like the vitamin K shot, the eye drops, a full bath, and then any routine tests that they tend to perform. And then, excuse me, let's see, where am I? Lost my place. I would like to, have all the newborn procedures when it is time to do those, performed in mine or my husband's site, preferably in the room where we're going to be. And then I have in here my, baby is to be breastfed only unless, a medical reason I cannot breastfeed her. And then my husband is to okay that if I'm unable. And then please do not give my baby any of the following items, formula, pacifiers, or any artificial nipples of any kind. I don't want her to be exposed to that until we're ready. And then as far as my hospital stay goes, I want to stay actually as long as I can. I know some people say they want to go home right away, but I want to stay and, get help with nursing if I need it, and, have my husband comfortable with holding the baby and all of those things before we leave. I would like a private room. Who doesn't want a private room? And then I would like to have my husband stay with me, my entire time, morning, noon, night, all that stuff. And then I'm totally fine with having family and friends visit, obviously, but I just would like them to call first to make sure we're not sleeping or anything like that. Excuse me again. Other than that, that is my birth plan. It's nothing too crazy. Wow, this is a very long video. I didn't think it was going to be this long. My goodness, I talk too much. Anyways, so yeah, that is it. And if you guys have any comments or anything, leave them in the comment section below or whatnot. And if you guys have some awful rude things to say, please don't say them. Keep them to yourselves. I believe everybody's birth plan should be their own, and it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. As long as you and your husband are comfortable with it, that's all that matters. So yeah, that is it, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.